These new MacBooks are ridiculous. So the new MacBooks have been out for a few months now, and I wanted to make this short video to give you my first impressions of specifically the 16-inch MacBook Pro. I should say that I did originally purchase the 14-inch MacBook Pro and then decided to switch to the 16-inch. Now there were a few reasons why I did that, but it specifically came down to the fact that I wanted a bigger screen. For someone like me who edits video a lot, having that extra screen real estate does help a lot. I originally thought the 14-inch would be big enough, but after getting my hands on the 16-inch MacBook Pro and realising it isn't as big as I thought it was going to be, I decided to make the switch, and I absolutely love this display size. This liquid retina XDR display that Apple have put into these new MacBooks is amazing. You really need to see it in person to appreciate how good the display actually is. I know there was a lot of talk about the notch when these laptops first came out, but I can say after using this laptop now for an extended period of time, the notch doesn't actually get in the way that much. Similar to the iPhone, you just get used to it. The next thing that has really impressed me with this MacBook is the battery life. I sometimes cannot believe how long it actually lasts. Apple have said that you can get around 21 hours out of the 16-inch MacBook Pro, and I would agree with this. There have literally been times where I've used the MacBook for a decent amount of time expecting the battery to have drained slightly, and it's still on 100%. I've got no idea how Apple have done this, but I'm impressed. The M1 Pro that's inside this MacBook that I have probably has a lot to do with it, and this chip is absolutely insane. Now the most intense thing I do on my MacBook is edit 4K video, and this new MacBook makes that seem not an intense task at all. If you're somebody who also edits video or photos, the M1 Pro I think personally is more than enough. I can only imagine how good the M1 Max is as well. Now another thing that I am loving with this MacBook is the design. For this generation, Apple have decided to make the MacBook slightly thicker to accommodate all the extra power. Regardless of this, I think the design still looks really good, and you do get used to that extra thickness and weight. It also means that Apple have now added a lot more ports, and I can't tell you how happy I am that there's an SD card slot in the Mac as well now. I'm no longer having to rely on dongles as much as I used to. Another thing that Apple adjusted with this lineup is the keyboard as well. You can now see it's got that black background and feels really good to type on. And the last thing that I'm really impressed with that I want to talk about in this video is the speakers as well. The quality of the sound coming out of these is really, really good. In the UK, the MacBook that I've got here now costs £2,399. Now, that is very, very expensive. I've never spent anywhere near that amount on a MacBook before. Now, I think the main reason why the laptop is priced at this point is because it is aimed at creative professionals. If you're just an average day-to-day user, Apple do sell MacBooks at a lower price point that are more than good enough. And I think that's the main point with these MacBooks. If you are a professional who needs the power that these new MacBooks have got, then you can justify spending that much money. If you're just a day-to-day user, then you can't really justify the amount that these cost, unless you're somebody who has loads of money and just wants the latest and greatest from Apple. And if you are that person, this definitely is the best MacBook Pro I have ever used. I will be covering the MacBook Pro a lot more in future videos. If the MacBook is something that you're interested in, please subscribe to the channel to see more on it. Like I said in my last video, this is a new channel and I'm hoping to post a lot more content on here. It really helps me out if you can subscribe to the channel as well. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the thumbs up button, leave me a comment down below, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next video.